This is Holly, and this is Winston, our wonderful volunteer. We're going to teach you today how to do a nail trim on dogs. This is just a diagram that we were taught as far as looking at the foot from the side. This is the bone, this is the quick part, which is the blood supply to the nail. That's the part that we want to avoid trimming because it will cause bleeding and a little bit of pain, like if you cut your fingernail too short. And then this little hook at the end is the part that we're going to trim. Typically when it comes to trimming dogs' nails, you kind of start to know that they're due for it when you can hear that clicking on your floors. Especially also in the winter time when there's ice and snow, they tend to break their nails more during that time, so keeping them nice and trim is ideal. So for dogs, we like to lay them on their side, that way we can look at all of their feet at the same time. The nail trimmers that we use, you can get them at most pet stores. They have variations of this. And then we also use a quick stop powder. We have that nearby just in case one does start bleeding. It'll clot that. If you don't have this at home and don't buy it, you can also use like a cornstarch or flour that you have at home. That will also do the same thing. All right, Winston. All right. So you can see kind of the shape of his nail. It's got that tiny little hook at the end. That's where I'm gonna start. So I usually just start with a little bit there. You can kind of see it's still pretty pale there, which means you can keep trimming. And then I will usually just kind of whittle away at it a little bit until you start to see more of that white center, which means we're getting close to that quick edge. So I'll probably stop trimming that nail there and move on to the next one. And then this one here, again, that little point there, we just cut that off and then trim the edges just to kind of round them off so they don't have a sharp edge. And then you start to see that little white center there. So I'm going to stop with that and just continue my way around. A really important thing is if you can have help at this. Generally most dogs are not going to lay there and let you do this themselves. It can take a little bit with training. Sometimes they'll only let you do one nail or even one foot at a time. Just getting them used to having their feet handled and touched, and you touching their toes and looking in between. That'll really help desensitize them to it. And then Winston does have a dew claw up here. Not all breeds do have the dew claw, so just kind of keep an eye out for that on your own dog. And just trim that edge, round it out a little bit. And then you kind of start to see that little white center. So I'm going to stop trimming that nail there. And then we'll move on to the rest of the toes. Good job, all done.